Hello.
How's it going?
And I'm filming.
Okay, perfect. Today we're going to interview Brad Muster, assistant golf coach for SRJC Golf, obviously, and he helps out with a bunch of different other sports. So we're going to ask him a couple questions. Brad, thank you for allowing us to interview you today.
My pleasure.
So the first one is it more important to win or develop players?
Well, at this level, development. All right, we're not paid athletes. You know, it's not a way to make a living. All right, we want to develop skills, not only technical skills that are related to the game, but life skills as well. So we see ourselves more as teachers and mentors to try to develop the all-around person. And for that, I think skill development is crucial.
Perfect. I know you've had some impact on me, positively, of course.
I appreciate that.
Of course. Does the family come before the team as a coach and for the players?
Yeah, for me, family's first.
Mm-hmm.
I ran into a certain situation when I was playing professionally. My first year, we were expecting our first child, and it was right around the end of the season. And you know, it came to a point where, fortunately, we missed the playoffs that third year, and I was able to be home. But I would have faced a very difficult situation had you know, my wife been in labor and we had a game or something. And I think some of the recent articles have been posted on that. One guy did miss a game to attend the birth of his child, and I saw nothing wrong with that. But you know, when you're actually getting paid to play, you know, there's a certain obligation to the employer. So
Yeah, definitely.
fortunately, I never had to face that. But I think in any event, you know, in certain circumstances, you know, more life death type stuff, you know, you got to put your family first.
Definitely, I completely agree. Do you have any superstitions?
Oh, I used to. Yeah, I always had to wear a black shirt under my game attire, and then I used to tape up my fingers a certain way. But that was just more for a sense of, you know, I think getting ready to compete. You know, you like to have rituals. You know, as an athlete, you know, you have a certain time when you're supposed to wake up, when you have to eat, when you're meeting, and all these other things. And so I think it just blended into having a certain set of game day preparations that you wanted to go through to give yourself a sense of security that you're ready to play. You know, if you're doing something different all the time, you don't really have that continuity. So I think superstitions lend more to just trying to develop, you know, a certain flow to your everyday life.
Do you have any superstitions, like for the golf team? Like, do you?
No, not anymore. I gave up those superstitions
I figured as much.
yeah, they don't really mean anything. So.
Yeah, you just.
But if I were competing, I still think I would do something like that. For like, you know, like you probably want to warm up a certain way with you know, your irons and then your driver or what have you.
Yeah.
Hit a certain number of putts and things like that. I could see that because again, you're getting into the rhythm. So
Definitely, no. I completely agree. This one's kind of hits home for me. How do you handle players with attitude problems?
Attitude problems. Well, again, that goes back to our original goal of trying to develop, you know, the student athlete overall. So there are different attitudes, right? Some guys are, you know, swear and throw clubs. Other guys, you know, might get down on themselves. You know, if they hit a bad shot, you know, they'll think they're letting the team down or something. But you got to get over that, you know. And so you got to assess the individual and know what works best. Some need to be coddled. Others need to be, you know, disciplined, yelled at, you know. And you just got to find out what motivates that student athlete the best. And, you know, again, basically what it comes down to is that, you know, certainly in golf, it's not a sprint. You know, one hole isn't going to necessarily make up the entire round. You got to be able to overcome adversity and play the rest of the holes. And, you know, in most sports it's that way. If you have a turnover early, say you fumble, you know, on the first drive, you know, that's not indicative of how you're going to respond throughout the game. So as a coach, you've got to be able to understand the mental makeup of that athlete you're trying to help there and to get them back in the game.
Perfect. I know you've definitely helped me with that. How have your players changed since you've played, like football or anything like that? Like how's maybe the preparation changed from when you were obviously doing it as a profession to now as even a coach?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there's been a big change really, and some for the better and some for the maybe the worse. You know, when I first started, you know, it was in Pop Warner, and you know, if coaches didn't think you were doing well, they wouldn't have water breaks, you know.
Mhm.
And now, you know, you'd probably get sued if you didn't make sure your team was properly hydrated and all this other stuff. And then I think just some of the attitudes. I mean, you know, way back in the day, you know, when I was growing up, you'd see kids out in the street playing ball, tag, whatever. And now, you know, in school, you hear talks of, you know, teachers taking away playground equipment, balls and whatnot, not being able to play tag because somebody might get pushed and hurt and all this other stuff. And, you know, I really think that's doing a disservice to the kids because they've got to be able to get out there and learn how to handle, you know, certain setbacks. You know, if you fall down, you got to pick yourself up, you know. And, you know, you certainly don't want all the bullying and roughhouse stuff. But still, some of that is part of life. You got to be able to overcome that because, you know, life is tough. And if we can't teach life lessons to youngsters, when are they going to learn those?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's important to get those obviously instilled to you at a young age for sure.
Yeah.
What expectations do you have for players each season before even the season starts? And do you have any midway expectations?
Well, I mean, you have the team goals. You want to, you know, do well in your conference and win and all that stuff. But, you know, again, getting back to what Dave and I want to preach here is that, you know, you're developing the person throughout the year. And so you want to see them grow, not only as players, you know, get their scores down or what have you, but you also want to see them get along within the team dynamic and improve their games individually. So, you know, it's really a camaraderie thing that we try to put together, make it the team first. We've had matches where, you know, one shot has been the difference between, you know, winning a state title and coming in third place. And so we, you know, we respect that, but, you know, if you can't get the trust of your teammates and the guys working together, you're not going to have a successful team. And so that's what we want to do. We want to keep those individuals, try to get them to improve their all-around well-being.
Do you believe in second chances for athletes? Like if they screw up one time and kick them off the team, do you believe in them potentially earning a spot back, or how do you go about that?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, you like to give youngsters second chances. And, you know, I think at the collegiate level, high school level, what have you, I think those are important. I do, you know, think professionally it should be different. You know, they've got the, you know, 3-strike rule for abuse, substance abuse or performance-enhancing drugs or what have you. I think at the professional level, you got to cut it off a little bit. You know, so you know, I don't know if that's where you're going with it, but I think, you know, if something is detrimental to the team overall, you got to look at that. You know, and you might not get a second chance from that unless the player is truly, you know, sorry for his actions and was able to address the team and you know, kind of give good reasons why he should be reinstated. But yeah, that's never a black and white deal there.
Yeah, I had a feeling it wasn't. Do you ever blame yourself for the team losing or performing poorly? Like, do you feel like, you know, maybe we should have worked on this in a practice instead of, you know, being everybody working by themselves?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean,